Welcome to the People in Professions podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Shailesh. Join me as I speak to people from varied walks of life, from scientists to street vendors, from engineers to artists, from businessmen to influencers, as I try to uncover how they became what they are and how they are creating growth across industries. This is a podcast about people, their professions, their lives, their struggles, their goals, the opportunities that made them, and so on. The reason for this podcast series is that I believe you can learn a lot from people and the circumstances that drive them. And this information cannot be gained from books or the internet. This can only be learned from people's journeys and their understanding. So you can find the episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, our website, and all of these details can be found in our show notes. So join me as I talk to people and help me build this human library. Hi everyone, welcome to People in Professions podcast. Today we have Mr. Nitin Kukreja. Nitin, who has nearly a decade of experience as a scrum master and a business analyst, has led teams and has saw client projects to completion. He has also been a professor and headed the entrepreneurship cell and the placement cell at GLA University, and who has been instrumental in bridging the gap between college and corporate. He has a dual master's degree in India and France, and is currently doing his Ph.D. from prestigious Swiss School of Business and Management. So, Mr. Nitin Kukreja, thank you so much for taking the time and doing this for us.
Thank you so much, Shailesh, for calling me on this podcast.
Nitin, the main reason why I wanted to have this discussion with you is you have specifically spent time in colleges and you have spent time in corporate, and you have also worked as a bridge between these two. So I wanted to know, is there a college and corporate divide? Do you think there's a divide between what students are taught and what companies want?
Yes. There's a difference between what students are taught in education institute and what company wants from their employees. And this gap is because of so many reasons, like rapidly changing the job market. I'm sure, Shailesh, you will second this thought that job market is constantly evolving due to technology advancement, economical shifts, and especially because of the change in the consumer preferences. And I still believe that education curriculum is still struggling to keep the pace with these rapid changes. And this led to become outdated themselves. This is the main reason. And the second reason is because of the industry specific skills. Some industry require highly specialized skills. Some requires knowledge that might not be covered in the extensively general education. So this is becoming a large gap. And the third gap, I would believe, which happens normally in the northern part of India, is because of the soft skill and the practical knowledge. I've seen many institutes, but at the moment, what I've seen, that many institutes are taking very good novel steps in overcoming this gap. And they're opening facilities, they're opening center of excellence, which are working like a industry inside the institute. And they're giving a lot of emphasis on developing more industry-oriented curriculum. They're providing internship, they're doing partnership, and so on. But yes, I agree, there's a divide and it has a lot of time to overcome.
So, what do you mean by industry oriented education? So, what is the value that a traditional education give, and what is this industry oriented education?
Okay, so first let me tell you what is industry oriented education. Industry oriented education is something that will make you ready for the lateral hiring. For example, whatever industry is expecting you to do in the initial 6 months, that exposure, that experience you are already getting when you are in the campus. So that's how we overcome the gap. And coming to your second question, while it's true that students often continue learning and gaining practical skills in their first job, but yes, I strongly believe that traditional education provides a lot of fundamental values and skills. And that fundamental value and skills serve as a strong foundation for their professional as well as their personal development. And if I talk more about the key values and the skills that is required during the traditional education. So first would be like critical thinking, problem solving approach, which over the years we feel doing graduation, doing undergraduations and doing that schooling. Second would be communication skills. It's very effective when it comes to job. And I still strongly believe that education gives a lot of emphasis on reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills.
Mm.
This eventually helps students in expressing their ideas and
Mm.
eventually allow them to interact with other people effectively.
Mm. Like traditional education gives you skills like soft skills, which give you problem solving. Do you think that can be got by other forms? Like I can do an apprenticeship or an internship. So why should I spend 4 years doing a master's, doing a bachelor's?
Okay, yeah, I'm listening such kind of questions, such kind of expectations from the young generation.
Correct.
But we need to understand that there is a graph of any education.
Mm.
You'll start from the X, then only you will reach the Y.
Mm.
But people are in so hurry that they
Mm.
wanted to achieve so many things all together within a couple of months. But this is not practically possible.
Mm.
You have to spend time. There are government official bodies like UGC, like AICT, like other governing bodies, which are brilliant mind at deciding the curriculums. They are deciding the course content. So
Mm.
I still believe, maybe I'm sounding like an old school guy, but I
Mm.
still believe that we have to follow a particular curve, which
Mm.
will eventually get you there where you want it to be.
Mm.
Don't go for a shortcuts thing. Don't go for a 3 month internship. Don't go for a 4 month internship, or in a month in a certification you will get this much knowledge. But try to compare a full-time degree within the 3 months. What do you think, Janish?
Yeah. No, very nicely said. People are in a hurry and they
Right,
think like doing just a 3 month or 6 months Python course will give them the knowledge to do machine
right,
learning. It's
right,
it's not the case. You need to understand arrays. You need to understand data structures. Only then will you be able to do anything in
right,
coding.
right,
So
right.
although it's not directly evident, the knowledge that you learn in a 4 years degree course is very very important in some or the other form. And this misconception that people have that yeah, I can just do a 4 month course and I can land a job is very wrong. You might land the first job,
Right.
but in future it will come back and haunt you. What do you think,
Yeah,
Nitin?
absolutely. I'm 100% agree with your thought process because we have to work on fundamentals. If our
Mm,
fundamentals are weak, you may build a house for a couple of days, but that
correct.
house will definitely fall down. Maybe
Correct.
not today, maybe over the 6 months, maybe over the years. So
So,
build a strong foundation. Yeah.
yeah, so talking about the first job, as I know, most companies basically train their hires for the first job.
Right.
What do you think that traditional education can add in this? So I'm referencing this because Infosys Narayan Murthy said 99% of the students who pass out are not useful for our company. So what do you think we can change, or what do you think we can add more?
Yeah. This is a good question, I would say. What I believe, young student, what they feel.
Mm.
First of all, let me tell you what they feel as a company, what they are looking for.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So young graduates often seek certain requirements like good salary packages.
Mm.
They look for a career growth, for the advancement, for a positive work environment, sense of purpose in their life. So many things they are looking for. But you are right. As a industry, what they are looking for is they are looking for a relevant skills. When I say relevant skills, it should be aligned with the thought process of company. It should be aligned with
Mm.
the mission and vision what companies is carrying to build over the years. But
Mm.
on the other hand, on the other hand, what I've seen that people are quickly changing their priorities and they are not able to settle down at a one place and grab maximum out of it. So this is again a good challenge.
Mm. So when you say all of this is good to hear, Nitin, all of this is good to say, okay, fundamentals is good, no company wants this. But basically, let's be honest, people hire freshers because they just get a low pay. We can't hire lateral hires because their salaries or cost to company is higher. So fresher cost to company is lower, and they want to come, they want to learn, they're willing to spend more time. Do you think that's the only reason why companies hire freshers?
No, I don't think so. They are paying low.
Mm-hmm.
If you look around, people are getting very good salary packages.
Mm.
They're getting 10 LPA, 20 LPA. So this mindset have been changed.
Mm.
Number one, like good
Correct.
startups, those who are working on a very large level, but they are very small in numbers. They are giving a lot of good salaries to the
Mm.
young graduates
Mm.
because they are becoming more industry ready. They are learning what over the years of people who are working in a good company, in a reputed company, cannot do that. So
Mm.
they are investing their time in a way that within the 6 months or 7 months, or maybe during the time of graduation while completing their classes, they
Mm.
are getting exposure to those courses. That is why they are becoming they're getting very good salaries.
Mm.
So it's all about the exposure. It's all about the environment. It's all about the way you handle your graduation life cycle. It's more
Mm.
important. So you have to prioritize very effectively,
Mm.
and that's all I can say. And they have to invest their time into exponential changings of this technology, which is happening all around the world. Trust
Mm.
me, I have seen over the years is, I will tell you, you will laugh on this example. I've been
Mhm.
into the recruitment for a couple of years in my previous organization.
Mhm.
What I have felt, I recruited people for some of the X technology,
Mm.
and by the time they were ready to join our company, we were
Mm.
not working on that technology.
Ah, ah,
So you can understand the gap
correct.
over the years. By the time they are completing their graduation, you never know whether this technology will be there or not. So
Correct.
how you can sustain this market? That
Mm.
is how you have to be becoming very adaptive, I would say.
Yeah, correct. So the main thing is it's no longer about a lower pay for freshers.
Right,
People do understand the value that freshers and even interns bring. There's no longer free internships now,
right,
and people are willing to pay good salaries as long as you are adaptable. You should not
exactly,
be stuck with X framework or X language. You should be
right,
adaptable to understand new things and take that. So
yeah,
we understand from the corporate side what is required. They want people to be adaptable and work.
yeah,
But what do students want? You were touching on this before when you said like people want stability, people want early money, quick recognition. But
right.
what is it that you have interacted with a lot of students in your life? So what is it that students are basically wanting?
So what I felt, student definitely looking for a competitive salary package. This is for sure.
Correct.
No matter what they believe in terms of the rep of their organization where they are going to work.
Yeah.
But in numbers, they're very fascinating to anybody. If
Mm,
it's 20 LPA and that company is not good enough, so
mm,
student will never go to that company who's offering 10 LP.
mm.
So that mentality is there.
Yeah.
Second, they are looking for a place where they can quickly learn.
Mm,
I should give you an example. That's a very buzzword in market at the moment. It's full stack development. Full stack development.
yeah. Mm,
Everybody wants to be a full stack developer.
mm.
But are you aware with the fact that full stack developer can only be a person who has end-to-end knowledge of front end as well as in the back end?
Correct.
So the person who is just starting their career, who has not worked as a back end engineer, who has only worked as a front end engineer or a front end developer, how can he be or she can become full stack developer?
Mm,
So that mentality, or from the student perspective, I believe they need to change it. But
mm,
they are looking for a fancy names. They are looking for a fancy packages. They are looking for the fancy corporate attires. They are looking for a fancy companies who
mm,
are having very good offices. So
mm,
such kind of things students are looking for.
mm. But yes, no matter what the brand image of your company is, it is the package that a fresher looks for.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. At the end of the day, let's be honest, it's the package. It's how much money I can take home is the main thing.
Yes. Yes.
So, Nitin, we were talking about the corporate and the academics, but there's another very important vertical that people generally don't talk about: entrepreneurship. So,
Right.
what do you think is the entrepreneur scope in India? Like, everything is good, but why would I join a startup?
Right. Right. So yes, India at the moment I would say is offering a very vibrant and promising entrepreneurial scope.
Hmm.
And it's all because of its vast market, its supportive government policies.
Mm,
So when I say government policies, there are a lot of government policies offering through DST, offering through multiple channels who are helping new people to start their own ventures.
mm,
When you go back to the couple of years, when you see there was no scope across the entire India, there was no scope of building startup. The
mm,
policies were so complex.
mm,
I mean, it's hard to judge how to file a company, how to start a company, how
mm,
to get the details of the people, how can you easily quickly start and register your own firm.
mm,
So that things has changed, that mentality has changed.
mm,
And various sectors, be it technology, be it commerce, be it fintech, be it healthcare,
mm,
they're flourishing like anything. You can take an example of Flipkart. It has become
mm,
e-commerce giant.
mm,
It has completely revolutionized the, I would say, online shopping, be it Flipkart, be it Amazon. And
mm,
there are so many players in the market.
mm,
So thousands are number out there.
mm, mm,
You take example of Paytm. It has, drastically changed the leading payment. I would say it has become a leading digital payment platform.
mm,
Everybody's doing Paytm. You are having your coffee, you are doing Paytm. You are purchasing fruit of 10 rupees, you are doing Paytm.
mm,
So
mm,
that has changed. And it's not a one day affair that Paytm has become something over the night. It
mm,
took a lot of hard work from the people who
mm,
started thought of building Paytm. So that's how people are, and government is supporting a lot in terms of giving funding. They're
mm,
providing a lot of subsidies.
mm,
Won't believe, almost I have heard in so many my lectures and so many my meetings that government is subsidizing almost 25% on the loan.
mm.
Don't you think it's a great opportunity
Yeah.
at this time when you are living in India?
Mm,
You are not only getting a money in terms of
mm,
loan,
mm,
but it also they are subsidizing that money. For example, somebody is giving you 100 rupees and you
mm.
don't have to give him back 25 rupees. So isn't it amazing?
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Any examples? Like I was saying that you have worked on New Gen IEDC. What is that?
Yes.
What does it mean?
So New Gen IDC stands for New Generation Innovation Entrepreneurship Development Center.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Government of India initiative. It was funded through Department of Science and Technology
Mm-hmm.
under one of the schemes called NSTEDB.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea was to support the entrepreneurship culture among the young engineering students,
Mm,
not limited to engineering, be it management courses, be it commerce courses. They
mm,
can You can present their idea. They can create an MVP. When we say MVP, it's a minimum viable product. They can
mm-hmm.
put in front of the board member who are coming from the government officials only,
Mm,
and they can put across the idea. If idea got selected, they get a funding of up to 2.5 lakhs
mm,
for one idea,
mm.
and that idea can be scalable up to crore of rupees.
Yeah.
So that's how your ideas can become into prototype, and prototype can get patent, and then
Mm,
after technology transfer, you can leverage that facility of and converting this to be in a lot of good factors, I would say.
yeah. Correct. So, are there any compliances, regulation for all of this?
Yes, there are a lot of compliances. You have to be you have to be officiating college, institute, industry, or something like that. There are a lot of
Mm,
compliances regulatory, which depends upon the institution, because it's not somebody that I can directly go there and take the funding. It's
mm.
the host institute. They apply for IDC fundings, and it's sustained for 5 years. I heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is from the host institution. So,
Right. So host institution will go to Department of Science and
mm,
Technology. So they advertise their policies where
mm,
institutions go, they fill out the form, and they are if they are successful enough, they have such a capacity, they have good infrastructure. There are a couple of norms to get the new Gen IDC in your host institute. So if you
mm,
get through, you'll get the fund. And then over the couple of years, you can in part assign that funds to people who want to do something innovative. That's how
mm.
it works.
Correct. So these are like some of the perks of being in a good private institution. These
Right, right,
tie-ups that are there that will really help. But apart from skill development cell, you've also been an assistant professor.
right.
Did you always want to be a teacher?
Well, absolutely yes. I always wanted to be a teacher during when I was pursuing my master's, during my graduation, because
Mm,
teaching has always been my passion because of
mm,
its extreme impact on shaping the young minds.
yeah.
I would say guiding young engineering students or guiding students to discover their potential,
Mm,
witnessing their growth,
mm,
filling them with the valuable knowledge. It's immensely rewarding, isn't it? Isn't it? What do you
yeah.
feel?
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone's inclined to doing that, more power to you. But you were talking about companies evolving, technologies evolving. Do
Right.
you think teaching has also evolved?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
How?
After the COVID, I think
Mm,
entire scenario of teaching has changed.
mm,
With this advancement in technology, the teaching methodology, teaching pedagogy has completely changed. It
mm,
has become a lot of interactive. It has become a lot of accessible. I don't
mm.
think so. I have heard any time or during your graduation time, my graduation time, we have ever seen any YouTube lecture. We have never seen any online platform where we can go and learn. That
We
too
are
free
old,
of
Nitin. We are old.
and that too free of cost. Would you
Yeah,
believe?
correct. Correct.
So online teaching has revolutionized the entire industry.
Mm,
It has completely changed the way of information is spreading.
mm,
It is completely accessible. And in turns, this allows students to work at their own pace,
mm,
which is I believe it's the strongest factor of acceptance. If you
mm,
have today time for sitting continuously for 5 hours, go ahead. Why not? I
mm,
don't have time today. That is
mm,
fine. I'll do it tomorrow. I can cover it up.
mm.
So it's a privilege to work at your own pace,
Correct.
and that is ultimately required as in the mindset of a student.
Mm. No, when you're talking about online education, digital education, in this chat GPT world, when which everything is, you can just type a question and it will give you
Yeah.
answer. Why are teachers needed? Why are they important?
Yes. So what I felt, even I'm using ChatGPT very frequently, I would
Mm.
say. But
Yeah.
I must say, in this ChatGPT world,
Mm.
teacher will always become essential
Oh,
because
how?
you
Mm.
you try to understand this question because we need to understand from where it is coming, despite all the factors which is
Mm.
there in advanced API, advanced AI capabilities.
Mm.
Human educator will always play a very crucial role in
Mm.
shaping their mind, giving them conceptualization thinking, expanding their knowledge.
Mm.
You know, when it comes to a personal guidance,
Mm.
so teacher is the only person who can interact with you, who can give you emotional support, who can give you a critical thinking that this is not right, this is right. And teacher is a person who can bridge the gap between information and
Mm.
understanding. So
Mm.
you have the information in ChatGPT, but you don't
Mm.
have the understanding.
Yeah.
For to grab that information, you need somebody who can tell you easily and who can foster that creativity in you.
Yeah. Correct. Very well said. In this information overload world, you need someone who can take the understanding from that, and that's
Right.
what teachers do.
And one more factor which normally we also get neglect is, especially it's come to an ethics and morals.
Mm.
Nobody can teach you through ChatGPT those ethics which
Yes.
we learn from our teachers.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that is it's very much required.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
I'm 100% sure AI can never replace this.
Yeah, correct. No, you raised a very important point. Even you, as a teacher, or you were a teacher before, use ChatGPT. So it's not wrong to use ChatGPT. Teachers can
No,
also
no.
use
Right,
ChatGPT and learn more. But
right,
the whole environment, the culture, the understanding, you need
right.
to have a human interaction there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is always good to have the flow of information. You should always be update yourself. You should keep yourself
Mm.
updating from where information is coming, what are the
Correct.
new thing happening in the market. So it's a pool of information. If I
Correct.
not use ChatGPT, my student will start using it, and all of a sudden they'll become better than me. So
Correct.
I don't want to be updated at all. So we also should be very adaptive in terms of anything. I would say we should have the
Correct.
wide pool of information.
Correct. You raise a very important point. Teachers should keep themselves updated. So, what
Right.
do you think the main skills are for a teacher,
For a
especially
degree,
if
yeah, yeah. For a degree level, I would say because I was teaching in a engineering college. So
Mm.
as per the government regulation, I think PhD is mandatory nowadays.
Mm.
But for assistant professor levelship, you
Mm.
can also masters is also sufficient. But
Mm.
I don't think so. Now government has changed a lot of regulatory, so PhD is must.
Mm.
But okay, that is fine. You will take the degree. That is
Mm.
okay. But do you have the subject expertise? The question
Mm.
remains same. Do
Correct.
you have that way of presenting your thought in front of student?
Mm.
Are you that much adaptive who can put creative mindset into the student, who can give a sustainable answers so that people can retain that information in their mindset?
Correct.
So this is something which comes naturally.
Mm.
Cannot force anybody to become a teacher. I'm sure people can take degrees of PhD, they
Mm.
can pursue masters. It's open for everybody. Anybody can go and take their courses. But
Mm.
to become a successful teacher, I
Mm.
think you should have that human touch in your mind. You
Yeah.
have to understand what exactly the need of a student.
Mm.
First of all, you have to understand the audience. Right. So that's how it's a complete journey. You first understand the need, then you put forward your thought process. Then only anybody can, try to retain that knowledge. That's how I've seen the teachers.
No, correct. It's not just the degree, but the human touch, the empathy that's very important to be a teacher.
Exactly,
Eh,
exactly.
you should actually feel that you are making an impact. But on the previous answer, you raised a very important point. If You don't use ChatGPT, the students will use and they'll become better than you.
Right.
In that case, do you think there is respect for teachers, and do you think respect for teachers has changed?
Hmm. I must say the respect for teacher has changed.
Mm,
I won't say change. Change is the
mm,
wrong word. I would say it has undergone under various shift over the time. So common attitude towards the teacher has evolved.
mm,
While some still values it, I 100% say I still value it. You still value it
mm,
because they have played a crucial role in shaping our mind. But
mm,
there are other of people who are not showing that same level of admirations.
mm,
There are other people who are not showing same level of affections to their teachers.
mm,
And I've seen the reasons why this is happening.
mm.
This is happening because of the technology impacting on learning,
Yeah.
because of cultural changes,
Mm,
because of the policies which have shifted the education, the entire purpose of education.
mm,
You know, in our time, education was not a commercial thing.
mm,
It was basically a essential thing,
mm,
and we used to do it with full of our heart and joy.
mm,
But now it has become a commercial thing that you have to do it, otherwise you will fail. That
mm,
philosophy, I don't think so. It is creating a great impact, and
mm,
that's how the respect for teacher is automatically changing. And I would say changing, it's shifting.
mm,
Sometimes it is good. It's some for
mm,
some person it is good, but other
mm,
people altogether they are not respecting it.
mm. With the respect for teachers changing, with the way in which your teaching is changing, do you think the pay is also changing for teachers?
Yes, agree. The pay for
Mm,
teacher is completely changed. Is it has
mm.
become insufficient.
It's insufficient. The pay is
Right.
less.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it has become insufficient. And it's true that lower salaries will automatically discourage
Yeah.
people pursuing their career into teaching
Mm,
or any further education like PhD.
mm,
And it's a very high time when we have to start giving respect to teacher. We have to start giving teacher as to be the most noble profession. You won't believe
mm,
it's I'm saying in India only, but if you go to Australia, you go to US, you go to some other country,
mm,
who's the highest paying job?
mm.
Teaching.
Yeah. Mm,
Teaching is the highest paying job in the other country.
mm,
But because of that commercial issue, so many colleges has in the market available, so
mm,
many teachers are available in the market. So that dilucy is there.
mm.
And that is how it has become insufficient, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. So teaching on the whole is basically a passion driven career. If you're
Exactly.
looking for money, then it's difficult. And that passion should be there to handle students, different types of students, different ways of learning, and the digitization also.
Right. But I would say for a private university, it is insufficient. But you'll
Mm,
go to IITs, you'll go to IIMs, you'll go to other reputed B schools or engineering schools. It's very
mm.
good. They
Yeah.
are getting very good salaries. They are getting very good, compensation in terms of their research revenues, in terms of their research funding. But
Mm.
that queue is so long. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
In
Correct.
India, if there is a two vacancy,
Mm.
I would say 20,000 people will apply.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how people struggle a lot.
So we were talking about your stint in academics, but there's also another stint in corporate that you have done. So
Yeah.
what is your role? What is a scrum master for people who don't know? What is it?
So a Scrum Master is someone who facilitate on agile principles,
Mm-hmm.
who improve the project outcomes, who
Mm,
foster for the collaboration, who look for the communication with the stakeholder.
mm,
Basically it's a person who follows the Scrum methodology. Scrum is a framework which work
mm,
on agile principles.
mm,
I think most of us know about the agile. It's iterative approach.
mm,
It's a new thing of doing your work style.
mm,
Initially, it used to happen a waterfall kind of a technique.
mm,
You have the requirements, okay, we are doing it. But
mm,
now in this rapid market, things are evolving like anything.
mm,
Client on the one day will say, I need this such kind of development, I need such kind of features.
mm,
But altogether, when you start developing that same feature, you will say,
mm,
no,
mm,
I'm not looking this. I'm
mm,
looking for some other thing. So
mm,
such kind of scenarios, such kind of change management can
mm,
only be answered through agile.
mm,
And that's how I don't think so. Is there any other company in the India? who's
mm,
not following the agile principle. And
mm,
Scrum Master role is a very crucial because he plays a very significant role between the stakeholder and between the end users. So he
mm,
has to manage the team. He has to adhere entire team to the agile principle. He has to deal with the diverse set of personality in the team as well.
mm,
And it's challenging, but nevertheless, it's a very, very positive impact when it comes to project outcomes and it comes to
mm.
agility, what people are looking for.
So this basically we're talking about software development, right? So
Right, right,
we have different ways of developing software, and one
right,
such way is the agile way in which the requirements change.
right, right.
For anyone who wants to be a Scrum Master or an agile project manager, what do you think the main skill sets are?
So a lot of certifications are available in the market at the
Mm-hmm,
moment. They can
mm-hmm,
go for professional Scrum Masters (PSM). They
mm,
can go for certified Scrum Master (CSM).
mm,
But apart from these two certifications,
mm,
they have two very clear understanding on software development lifecycle.
mm,
We call it SDLC.
mm,
You go on website and try to search for SDLC.
mm,
It is an entire end-to-end cycle which explain you how the software is going to develop.
mm,
So basically, he's a person who has the technical knowledge, who
mm,
understand the all the features,
mm,
what front end, what back end people are doing. But
mm,
he work in a way he overcome the gap between end user and overcome the gap between the development team. So he's
mm,
basically a bridge who explain, who understand everything, and who
mm,
try to help all the teams to come together at one common platform and
mm,
contribute the high level objective. What exactly and why exactly we are building some application or why we are building this product.
mm.
So that's how he overcomes the entire entity from one place to another place.
Correct. So, as I understand, a Scrum Master basically has to deal with a lot of people, and there's a
Right.
lot of things on his plate. So, what are the main challenges for such a role?
So I would say dealing people with a different mindset is a huge challenge
Mm,
altogether.
mm,
And you have to keep yourself updated with all the agile principles coming in the market, like Scrum, Kanban, and the other all principle. I'm
mm.
sure while we are recording this broadcast or while we are discussing some new technique may come.
Correct. Mm,
So you have to keep yourself updated. This is number one.
mm,
You have to be very adaptive because you never know what challenge may come.
mm, mm,
And second, you have to be a very open in terms of the communication to collaborate with the people. Maybe they are sitting at any other point of time. Maybe they are sitting some other time zone. They are sitting some other cultural difference. So many differences will come, but you
mm.
have to deal with such people.
Yeah, correct. You were talking about certification. So,
Mhm.
does that really help you for anyone who wants to invest in certifications? Did it really help you getting a job, or is it helping you in your job now?
Yes, yes, I would agree with your thought, Shanish.
Mm,
Certification has helped a
mm,
lot in my professional career because they always provide some tangible evidences to
mm,
my knowledge, to commitment of continuous learning.
mm,
And for this is for anybody who would
mm,
like to boost their productivity, who would like to increase their credibility, who would like to see how much capable they are in this current fast changing environment. They want to become a market ready person. So
mm,
how you engage yourself? Because you are working at one place. You
mm,
know what is happening around.
mm,
So you have to challenge yourself with such kind of time boxes
mm,
exams where you'll get to know what exactly happening around the globe. Give the
mm,
exams, look at your marks and look at the pattern that is flowing around the globe, and that
mm,
you get the certificate. That's how you upskill yourself.
mm,
And I have seen employers because when
mm,
you how an employer will get to know how he'll build a confidence in a person who's not having the relevant certifications, who do not have the I would say latest certification.
mm,
To prioritize candidate with the relevant skills,
mm,
certification indicates a
mm.
special understanding of that particular subject.
Correct. So it boosts your job because it shows you are interested and you are relevant.
Right, right.
Mm,
See, you take that example. There's a person who has been working in a company for last 4 years
mm,
and he has done zero certification.
mm,
And the person who has started working just now and
mm,
he's about to complete his second year and
mm,
has gained three certification.
mm.
So don't you think that person who has gained three certification is more eager to learn something new?
Mm.
So uh,
Mm.
yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, it does show your inclination to learn, but
Right.
choosing which certificate, you don't want to do everything under the sky, right?
No, 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 no. Of
Yeah.
course, of course. So it's, I would say, as we already mentioned, the
Mm.
knowledge is so much easily accessible. It's available on
Yeah.
the internet free of cost. So you narrow down your thought process. You narrow
Mm.
down your skill set, what you exactly want to achieve. And I
Mm.
think there are thousands of certifications which are available in the market.
Correct. Correct. So, talking about knowledge being accessible, you also are pursuing a PhD now. Where are you? Which year of the PhD?
So I'm about to complete my PhD.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
am, yeah, I am writing my thesis. It's almost done.
Oh.
Today I've completed my 120th page, but I'm yet to write 30 more because it's a guideline that we have to write 150 pages at
Oh,
least.
oh, wonderful.
So yeah,
Yeah, all the best to you. Like, but
thank you.
how difficult it is, like having a full-time job in software and doing a PhD, how difficult it is?
It is difficult, I must say. It
Mm.
is difficult because of so many factors. I'm
Mm.
in a full-time job. I have a family. I need to, balance my personal commitment. I need to balance my academic commitment,
Correct.
and it is too much taxing sometimes. But
Mm.
it's worth, I would say. It's if you have a strong determination, you have a strong family support, I think you can overcome these challenges.
Mm.
But to start a PhD, you should have a very clear understanding on the research,
Mm.
what exactly you want to do. You should
Mm.
have a rough mind map in your mind
Mm.
where you can understand what is the concept you are going to build.
Mm.
You should have a great understanding of reading paper, writing papers.
Mm.
You should be good in literature reviews. You should be good in data visualization.
Mm.
Otherwise, there is no sense. You may gather thousands of people's responses. You
Mm.
may go and talk to one lakh people. There's
Mm.
no doubt in that. It's easily accessible in the social media world. People are
Mm.
just a text away. But
Mm.
if you don't know how to visualize such information, if you're
Mm.
not confident enough to present that information in terms of pie chart, in terms of bar chart, in terms of Power
Mm.
BI, I would say,
Mm.
so that makes no sense. And you
Mm.
you have to critically analyze why you are doing this thing and how
Mm.
that research is going to impact on a social life, how that
Mm.
research is going to impact on a human life.
Mm.
That particular thing should be there.
Yeah. It's not just about pursuing the PhD, but you should know what
No,
to pursue and how it will impact.
exactly. I've seen in my teaching career there are thousands of people who have been completed the PhD, but
Mm.
their thesis makes no sense.
Yeah.
I would say they have just find out couple of thousands of property of a material. I would say in mechanical engineering, be it
Yeah.
in a computer science, they have identified so many algorithms. But that
Yeah.
algorithm is not changing anything on a human mindset.
Correct.
They're not impacting on a social life. They're not impacting on a anything on a I would say personal terms. So
Correct.
that is not required at the moment.
Correct. So there is this conception, no, PhD is reading multiple books and then adding your own book to it. So yeah, so knowing the impact of what your research is doing is most important. But
Right.
many people are scared to pursue higher education after a few years in corporate because maybe you have a well-paying job, as you said, you have family commitments, you have your corporate commitments. So what is your suggestion to them? Do you suggest them to pursue higher education?
I would suggest to all such people that don't let your fear hold you back from pursuing the higher education.
Mm.
Because we have to understand this.
Mm.
Education is a lifelong journey.
Mm.
It's never too late to learn.
Mm.
It will never be too late.
Mm.
You just have to seek support from the family. You just have to seek support from your friends. You
Mm.
need to get very good mentors
Mm.
who can encourage you, who can guide you,
Mm.
and then look for the opportunity. I'm 100% sure that will help you in your personal as well as in your professional growth.
Mm.
And before that, before
Mm.
before that, you have to invest a lot of time in identify your passion.
Correct.
You have to
Yeah.
you have to invest time in identify your interest,
Mm.
and that interest and that passion should align with your research program. Otherwise,
Yes.
again, we'll be into that black hole.
Mm.
We'll start doing something, but it is making no sense.
Mm.
So your passion, your interest should align with your research program.
Mm.
That's how only you will feel the joy of doing research. That's
Yeah.
how you'll know, see, this PhD should be a burden.
Mm.
Because I think I have seen people doing PhD for 8 years, for 7 years, for 6 years.
Mm.
So don't consider this to be as a burden. Enjoy
Mm.
that process. And you can only enjoy when you do it with your passion, will do it with your interest.
Yeah, correct. If there's anything that we take out from this podcast, it's like we keep coming back to this point. Everything is a process. Everything
Right.
takes time. Everything, there is ups and downs. You cannot do something in just 3 weeks. You cannot do something with 2 certificates. It's a process, and you have to enjoy that process. That's the main thing.
Right, right. There's a complete curve. There's a complete curve when we study in the mathematics. It's y
Mm.
is equal to mx plus c.
Mm.
Then only y cannot decide anything, only x cannot decide anything, only c cannot decide anything. It's a
Yeah,
whole equation, it's a whole set of equation.
yeah,
All the factors will sit together at one place, and then only they'll contribute to some meaningful objective.
yeah, correct. So, at the last question, any tips that you want to give to people who are pursuing their PhD or who are doing the teaching or who wants to shift to corporate like a Scrum Master? Any tips for them?
So what I can say, what I have done in my life is I've been very open to all the new challenges.
Mm.
I never feared to start from the zero.
Mm.
So be it whatever condition it is, seek the guidance from the experienced people.
Mm.
Attend as many conferences, attend as many lectures, talk to your peer group as you want.
Mm.
And another thing is you have to balance your work and personal life.
Mm.
Then only you will be going to embrace the new challenges which is coming around.
Correct.
Keep looking around, keep looking around. You never know what is coming next to you.
Mm.
And that's how I think life works.
Mm.
We always get fear of going to zero again and again.
Mm.
I've seen people, they have been continuously working in the same organization. They
Yeah.
haven't taken any risk. They haven't changed their job because of the same mentality. Who will shift?
Mm.
Who will go and settle down to a new city?
Mm.
I have a fear my kids will go some other school. I don't know how they are going to work. Their
Mm.
education will get disturbed.
Yeah.
I know it is in the mind of everybody, each one of us,
Mm.
because of the family. But when you go out of your comfort zone,
Mm.
you look around, when you come out of that fear to start from the zero, it will give you something back.
Yeah.
And your family will definitely support because they have seen you struggling through that process.
Yeah. Correct.
So that is my input to those such features.
Correct. Very nicely said, Nitin. So, Nitin, hopefully in future, Dr. Nitin, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking the time out to do this. And any last words from you?
Nothing. I enjoy talking to you, Shailesh, and I've been very honest with all of my opinion. And I would strongly believe that this opinions, this talk, this conversation will definitely going to help the people who are looking for such kind of challenging roles, be it education, be it PhD, be it Scrum Master role. I'm very happy to collaborate with you people. If you need more guidance, just text me out. Thank you
Definitely.
so much.
So, to anyone who's interested in discussing this with Nitin, what I'll do is I'll put his LinkedIn profile in the show notes. If anyone's interested, please feel free to contact him. Once again, thank you, Nitin. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Have a
Yep.
great day. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in anything that we discussed, or if you just want to connect with the guest, you can find the LinkedIn link in the show notes. Let me know what you think of this podcast. And please feel free to send me the details of people you know whose life and career trajectory can teach us something. I will meet you in the next episode. Until then, I'm your host Shailesh, and this has been the People in Professions podcast, aiming to build a human library.